I want to start this video off by saying I am so proud of you. It takes so much courage, it takes so much accountability to see that you have an eating disorder, to recognize that your eating patterns are not normal. This takes so much accountability, and I know it's very hard. When I was suffering from my eating disorder, I did not want to acknowledge that I had a problem. Everybody around me was just suffering from a lack of control. They could not control what they put into their mouth, and I had a lot of willpower. That's what I thought. But somewhere deep down, I knew something was wrong. I knew that I was lying to myself. I just didn't want to admit it. So you looking at this video, you trying to change, you trying to make something better from your situation, I applaud you, because that takes a lot of courage. And I'm telling you, if you're only watching this video already, you have the power to overcome this. You know how many people get hospitalized for eating disorders without their consent, without their will? Because they do not want to acknowledge the problem. They do not see that they have a problem. So you already looking for a solution, baby, you're halfway there. And together, I hope we can make it work. Hi guys, my name is Liz and welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, I am going to tell you how I overcame my binge eating disorder. First of all, I do want to make a disclaimer. I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. If you are suffering from an eating disorder, this is very serious and I would suggest that you consult a doctor. As in, for every video of mine, I am talking from my own experiences. The advice I give you is what helped me. Some things that I say might not resonate with you, and that is okay. You can always take what resonates and leave the rest. But please do not take my words as facts, as they are only based on personal experiences. Thank you so much. Okay, so my story. I had anorexia, binge eating disorder, and bulimia. It all started off with anorexia when I was in high school. It kind of started, I would restrict myself from eating. I would be proud of myself if I didn't eat. And yeah, it kind of started off like that. I didn't really think that I had anorexia. Anorexia was something in my mind that's like, wow, it's like a trophy. If you have anorexia, you have so much discipline. So even saying that I had anorexia, I felt too low of myself to even be in that aspect of anorexia, you know? Then because I restricted myself so much, I ended up later on getting a binge eating disorder. Because all the foods I didn't allow myself to eat, I wanted to eat, and I wanted to eat them in one go. And I'm telling you, I could eat and I could eat. And I did not feel when I was full at all. Like there was no more sense in me that like, oh, okay, you're full, Liz. No. My stomach would be about to explode. Like literally sometimes I was like, oh my God, my stomach is gonna rip, but I kept eating. I don't know, it was almost like something took over me and kept like eating, but it was obviously the restriction, it was the stress that came and the emotions that I just wanted to suppress as well, you know? But besides that, I don't really want to get into my story. I want to get into how did I get out of it. First of all, I need you to realize your body doesn't do anything before you think it in your mind. When you wake up in the morning, you think first, okay, I'm gonna wake up now, and then your body physically wakes up. So when you are about to binge eat, when you are about to restrict yourself or starve yourself or purge, you cannot physically do that until your mind thinks, I'm gonna do it first. So once you can control your mind, you can control what you do physically. And when I realized that my mind is what controls everything, not only did I get out of my eating disorder, I literally changed my whole life around. Because what happens up here becomes reality out here. I started to see binge eating as a demon that was trying to control me. So I read this book, right, when I was in my binge eating disorder. It's called Brain Over Binge. In Brain Over Binge, this woman talks about you have the rational brain and you have the animal brain. So your rational brain knows when to stop eating, knows that like one meal, like, you know, healthy and good for you, is nourishing and all these things. But your animal brain is basically moving on instincts like an animal and just wants to eat and doesn't think straight, you know? So instead of thinking like, oh, this is my animal brain, I thought of it like, okay, look, this is a demon in my head, right? I created like, okay, this binge eating disorder is a demon. And if I eat right now all this food, and I would also think like, this food is too much for me. For one person, this is way too much. This is even too much for 4 people, you know? Like I would eat like crazy. This is not a joke. So I was like, this is too much. So there must be a demon that I'm feeding, you know? So I would think, okay, if I eat this right now, this demon will get bigger and stronger over me. But if I decide to not binge and not eat all of this, then I can starve the demon, you know? So I started doing that. Also, this comes into my religion. In Islam, it's really not good to waste food. It's also, you know, bad karma. Like it's really bad. If you want to manifest good things in your life, wasting food, binging, purging, doing that thing, that will give you really like, that will block your manifestations. Also because you're mentally not clear and it lowers your vibration. And also, like I said, it's bad karma because you're wasting food that could go to other people, food that your family could eat, you know. It's a very, it's a mental illness, obviously, but it's also a very selfish act. But obviously you're not thinking in that moment because, you know, you're not thinking rationally. You just want to devour. But that's why I want you to think, okay, for your next binge, think in your head like, okay, this is not me. This is the demon. The demon wants food. Are you gonna feed the demon or are you gonna starve him? When I would feel the binge urge coming up, I would literally physically remove myself from the situation. So, when you feel this urge coming up, right? Like you want to binge right now, you see all the food in front of you. I want you to get up and leave. Just leave the kitchen, leave the place, wherever you are, just leave. Go for a walk. Go think about why you want to do what you're doing right now. Is it because you've starved yourself? Is it because you feel lonely? Is it because you feel stressed? Is it because all these emotions are coming up in you and you just want to suppress them? What's going on? Other than that, what you can do is maybe call a friend. Tell them how you feel. Maybe talk to God. Tell him what you feel. Talk to the universe, whatever you believe in. Write your emotions down. Go journal. Go drink a hot tea or a hot coffee. Eat one healthy meal instead. Go take a cold shower. Go take a hot bath. Anything that puts your mind at the attention of something else, you know? Because your mind, you have to realize, like I said, you're not thinking rationally at that moment. So your mind has to just refocus their attention on something else. I'm gonna be very honest, sometimes I just needed sleep. I was just tired. But because I could not fall asleep, I would just binge, you know, out of like boredom or whatever. So that sometimes it's also even good to go to bed. What I would also recommend is start breathing. Really, like even now, if I just breathe, it calms me down so much. I want you to realize what your trigger foods are. Like, for example, for me, it was sugar. I eat one cookie, I need to eat every cookie in the house. Every sugar there is, I need to eat. So for me, the thing that helped was I needed to cut out sugar completely and not like, I just needed not to see sugar. Like, for example, if I wanted something sugary, I would eat like vegetables or something salt instead. That's what your food triggers are. And then I want you to not buy the binge foods. Don't buy them. Because I know that you're going to be like, no, this is the last time, whatever. It's not the last time. And when you buy it, you are going to eat it. So just don't buy it. Make sure it's not in your house. Make sure you just don't waste your money on it.